So you're all aware about what is going to be happening on the 31st of August. The rallies across Australia, every major city. March for Australia, they say. After the information that I've received and dug into, just like everybody else, you've all probably seen it, and the influencers that are part of organising these rallies, the racist ones, I'm now here going to say that Aboriginal people across this continent, my brothers and sisters, listen. Do not attend these rallies. Stay away. It's got nothing to do with us. It is for white fragile individuals. It is for racist Australia. And I also want to say this as well. Our African, our Indian, our Muslims, our brothers and sisters across the board do not attend these rallies. They don't like you or us. It's very clear. Stay away.
Just a reminder, while we're busy fighting about race and having our gender wars, the billionaires continue to hoard wealth, they keep our wages low, and they keep the cost of living high. The one thing the billionaires are really good at, apart from amassing wealth, is they keep us looking in the wrong direction. We're like, oh, a black person, oh, an Asian person, oh, a white person. It's them. We need to keep our anger focused on them. The issue isn't immigrants taking our jobs. You know, with a click of a finger, they could easily solve the problems that we have, inject money into our schools, hospitals, fix our roads, but they don't. They continue to hoard their wealth. They could also open up their homes, which are just sitting there empty, and rent them out at a reasonable price. But they refuse to because they want the housing market to continue to go up so they can make bank. It's not immigrants. It's not women. It's the billionaires and the uber rich. Let's keep our attention there.
This is my warning about August 31st, so listen up. A lot of you are too young to remember the Cronulla riot. And if you do remember it, you seem to have forgotten who lost. The people that fought them days were demonised. They were attacked by the rest of the Australian population, and they did not win. They did not further their cause, and they did not make a change. If anything, they made the rest of us look like pigs. And that is what this racist agenda on August the 31st is going to achieve. Nothing except making all of us look bad. Hate breeds hate. Violence breeds violence. And this is going to breed nothing but disgust. We need to change this country for the better. We need to unite Australia, not divide. Make the change.
Right, family, welcome back to Hosting Stories, KE. And today we want to talk about this upcoming protest in Australia that is going to be held on August 31st. So they are calling it March for Australia. Others are calling it Australia First. So the main concern about this protest is that the Australian people think that the immigrants in Australia are taking up their jobs. The immigrants in Australia are making the Australian people's life very difficult. They are saying the immigrants are making the cost of living in Australia very high. They are saying they are taking up their housing programs. Australian people have no houses because the houses that are supposed to be theirs, they are already taken by the immigrants. But now the major concern is that people are saying, other Australians are against this protest, saying that no, this is not what the world think. This is about racism. This is about the people of Australia being racial on immigrants. They don't want the Palestinians in Australia. They don't want the Indian people. They don't want the blacks in Australia and all those. They are calling it a racial march because they're saying if you really want to protest something meaningful, then you should protest against the billionaires in Australia who are making our lives more miserable. These migrants just come into Australia to do the jobs that you Australian refuse to do. And in this video, I want us to check some of the comments from the well-informed Australians, and then at the end of this video, I'll be giving my commentaries. And hey, if you are new here, please consider subscribing to this channel. Today is our 7th day posting video consistently, and guess what? We've come from 0 to 10. We are now at 39 subscribers. Now be the 40th subscriber. Let's watch this video together, and at the end I'll be giving my commentaries.
Okay guys, I am so fucking mad, but I'm also like happy at the same time. So as I knew, as you know, people who didn't have a blindfold on knew, is that the 31st of August march is a Nazi march, and it's about white supremacy. I told everyone. I told yous. And I am just, like, I'm so glad that there are people that actually believed me, people that actually listened to me, people who actually didn't have indoctrinated colored glasses on and could see the real energy and the real motive for this, what they tried to say, leader less, organizer less. I told yous, and it's now been confirmed.
All right, let's talk about the rally on the 31st of August. Who's organising it? Why is Abby Chatfield attacking it? Why is the mainstream media promoting it? Who is actually going to be speaking at the event? In order to answer these questions, you need to understand how this whole thing kicked off. It basically kicked off from this TikTok account from South Australia. A young bloke who we've had a chat to, 18 years old. He saw the Harbour Bridge protest. He didn't like it. He's basically very discontent with the nature of where Australia's at. Australia's broken. Red tape's out of control, net zero's out of control, farmers are being destroyed, digital IDs gone crazy. We've got runaway inflation on the horizon. Australia, nothing works anymore in this country, and he's nostalgic for what Australia used to be. The problem is that thing went viral with 1.5 million views on TikTok, and then the next post he did was he just threw a date out there, the 31st of August. He was the first one to do it. He had no planning in mind as to who's going to organize the rally in every state. His heart was in the right place, but there was no follow through. He was contacted by some people in these white nationalist circles that basically I've got on record inciting violence on Twitter Spaces, people who are basically in bed with the National Socialist Network. And when he realized that these people, he just handed the event to them, he's basically deleted the posts on his TikTok and he's trying to lay low. And so now we've got this really disappointing situation where people haven't quite worked out yet who's organizing this rally because of the lack of transparency. And this is simply not how we achieve the Canberra protests, where we mobilized 250,000 people to Canberra. We had clear outcomes. We had a clear face to the protest. And we very clearly we achieved the outcomes that we wanted. We had 33 successful outcomes that came out after the Canberra protests. Now, that's not what's going on with this. We don't have that level of transparency. And a lot of people are asking me about, is this a false flag? What's going on? Guys, it's just simply mismanagement. That's what's happened.
If you want to protest the government not putting enough money into building new homes, you protest that issue specifically. But if you care about that, and your vehicle to share that is to go to a protest organised by the NSN, which is the Australian Nazi network here in Australia, that Thomas Sewell, the leader of that network, has credited himself with organising the August 31 protest, and they're participating, you are not actually protesting the government's use of spending money. You are protesting for Nazi values in Australia because you are attending their protest, right? You don't get to change the meaning of a protest to what it means for you. They'll be up the front with signs and banners, and if you're attending, you're giving your voice and your feet and your movement to them to push their movement, not to push the issue that you care about.
Hi my lovelies, I just woke up and I found out about the protests that are happening on August 31st. Apparently they want mass deportation, they want white Australia, there's going to be racial slurs happening, there's going to be people protesting in the streets, talking about if people were protesting about the Palestine thing, we're also allowed to protest about wanting white Australia. Do these bazungus understand that this is not their country? Us immigrants, I am an immigrant. I am an Australian citizen as well. I have my citizenship. Do these bazungus, do these people not understand that this is not our land? We know that this is not our land. We've known since day one, this is not our land. We've known. Australia is a multicultural land. Those bazungus themselves, those white people themselves, you guys are immigrants. You guys are immigrants. You guys, what did you guys do? You guys came here, you guys stole their land. During the time when they stole their land, they wanted white Australia. You know what they did? They killed all the indigenous people. They killed, do your research. There was hundreds of thousands of indigenous people before the bazungus came here. And they killed all of them. And then the ones that are surviving today, the small amount that's surviving today are the ones that survived. Even the indigenous people themselves, they understand it. We're too far gone to send everyone back. They don't even control their own country. So if these bazungus want white Australia, if these bazungus want to send back all the immigrants that are from that are from Africa, China, Asia, wherever, you don't need to go back first. Go back first. Give the indigenous people back their land. Then we'll go back to our countries. Yeah. Yeah. Can we make that deal, please? This is just all racist nonsense. They're just trying to copy what Donald Trump did. Donald Trump, he put them in shackles and everything, and then sent them all on planes, sent them all to thingy centers, and saying, they're not real citizens, blah, blah, blah. If you want to copy what Donald Trump did, go to America. Go to America yourself. Go to America. Leave Australia alone. Leave our Australia alone. Australia, Australia, we're trying to protect Australian culture. You only allowed the Australian flag, blah, 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 blah. These bazungus, and the people that they're trying to verse, the islanders, the Africans, don't you? If people talk too much, do you not think that they'll beat you? People are all high and mighty. Do you think they will not beat you? Another thing, Australian culture, it's literally no culture. Australians have no culture. They decided to create their own little culture. Doesn't mean it's good culture. Australia is literally built off the slavery of the indigenous people. Literally everything that happened in America happened in Australia on indigenous people. So when are you all going to give back their land? This is not your land. Go back to your European countries if you want all this white Australian nonsense, my friend. Australia is now a multicultural country. You can't tell me and say, I can't wave my flag. Oh, they're taking all our jobs. Australia is still a young country. How are they taking all your jobs? How are they taking all your jobs? Go and study. How are they taking all? You still have your Australian rights. Go and study. Don't vex me. Don't vex me. These people. Anyways, thanks for listening, my lovelies.
And for people that don't think it's a racist march, it is a racist march because there's a neo-Yahtzee promoting it and organising it. Take a look at this screenshot. So yeah, this man is the actual leader of the neo-Yahtzee in Melbourne, Australia, and it says there, White Australia. Yeah, so if I was mob, I wouldn't bother going because these people would lynch you from a tree within a second. They want to tokenise you and they want to weaponise you. And then I bet you if you were to bring your Aboriginal flag out and fly it, they would rip that out of your hand within a second. But yeah, if you want to be shamed by your community and your people, go ahead, because it just makes you look like a coconut.
Just because somebody's an immigrant doesn't mean they can't have political opinions. Yeah? Okay, I'm going to say it again. Just because somebody's an immigrant doesn't mean they can't have a political opinion. Why do people have this obsession in Australia specifically of downplaying immigrants by telling them just to go back to their own country if they don't like Australia so much whenever they bring up something about Australia that can be improved? I've seen too many comments of people telling immigrants, oh, if you hate Australia so much, if Australia is so bad, go back to your own country. Why are you guys so quick to defend Australia and not be open to improving the country? When people bring up the nuances or the bad sides of Australia, people are like, oh, just go back to your country. No. How about no? You know what's funny to me? Whenever these people say that, they are the same people that came here and unalived millions of Aboriginal people. Millions. Displaced them. Literally tortured them. Yeah? And they have the audacity to tell us that we shouldn't be here and we should go back to where we're from. People of color who have worked to get into this country. It's not easy to get into Australia, by the way. A lot of you guys want to blame immigration on the housing crisis. I'm going to call out some of you guys. Some of you guys haven't done research. Because if you did do research, you would know immigration has little to no impact on the housing crisis. And I'm going to call out some more of you guys. A lot of you guys are just broke. There, I said it. Some of you guys simply just don't have the means. You guys just want to make every excuse to demonize people of color in Australia, and it's so telling. And it's rooted in jealousy, irrational fear, this insane entitlement that you guys think that you're better than other people when you're not. You will bleed, I will bleed. We all bleed the same red. Every single culture, every single nation. People need to stop demonizing people of color for speaking up about their experiences. I want people to understand this. It is possible to simultaneously be grateful for being in Australia and also speak up about the negative sides of it. You can do these two things simultaneously. So to every person of color out there, you are deserving of being in this country and you deserve to speak up when you are being treated with disrespect. And to every person living in Australia, you guys are all amazing. You guys are all beautiful and we are capable of coming together and creating a great nation. But that takes everyone taking accountability for their mistakes and their wrongdoings and things that they have been neglecting, which they should be doing to make this country a better place.
So according to my digging, I've come across a thing. They are calling it March for Australia, or rather Australia First. It is a nationwide anti-immigrant rally. So they claim, the Australian claim, that these immigrants are taking up their jobs. They are taking up their housing project. But there is a plot twist in this thing, in this protest. The original organizers of this protest are yet to be known. Sources are telling us that the NSN or the Nazi people are the ones that are organizing this protest. It is saying far right and extremist element, including the National Social Network, which is NSN, and a neo-Nazi group have tied themselves to or attempt to co-opt the event, promoting widespread concern because because of a recent NINSN-led march in Melbourne drew national condemnation. The group has boosted of increased recruitment and funds following these activities. So in short, they are saying these groups are the ones organizing and promoting and supporting this movement. They are calling out Australia immigrants. But for me, this is just another way of using the immigrants again as scapegoats for their issues in Australia. Because for the longest, we've seen countries like United States, Canada, and now Australia marching, just wanting mass deportation, demanding for mass deportation. They are demanding for mass deportation because they think that these immigrants are taking up their spaces in Australia. But in reality, these immigrants, this march, for example, it is just a racial march, because how can you say that these people are coming to take up your jobs, and yet while these people are being sent away? Let's take an example from the United States. There was mass deportation in the United States. The immigrants were sent away in chains, but unfortunately Trump came the other day and told the immigrants, you should come back because we really need you to work in these farms. Now we don't want this to happen in Australia again, so they will send these immigrants maybe away. So will they start complaining that there is no one to work in their farms again like United States? Or are they just using the immigrants like a scapegoat for their issues they are afraid of standing against? So the people who are against this thing are saying, no, the protest set for August 31st is a coordinated nationwide anti-immigrant rally rooted in nationalist rhetoric. While pitches as peaceful and grassroots, it has drawn critics from xenophobic messaging and its proximity to extremist influence, raising alarms among political leaders, civil society, and media commentators. They are saying this ideology of national-wide protest in June 31st for March for Australia is a backlash of just people, Australian sentiments wanting the immigrants gone. I mean, they are so racial, they don't want anyone in Australia. They just want to be among themselves. And if it is true, they are complaining about high cost of living, poor living standards, or let's say housing program, they should really consider and march for the billionaires who are taking up their monies, who are eating up their taxes in Australia, who are really focused in exhausting their funds so that life life in Australia could be hard. But if they still insist that they are marching, putting Australia first, then the immigrants think that these people are so much racial, and this march is a racial march, is a xenophobic march, and they don't deserve to go into that march. And for the people who are not, and for the Australians who are not going to march, they are informing and telling and convincing their families that they shouldn't go for this march because it has no moral, it has no sense of duty. So you do tell me what you think in the comment section. Do you think that this march in Australia is considered as putting Australia first, or march for Australia, or it is just another new dawn of racial wake up in Australia? It is another new march against the immigrants and racism in Australia. Tell me what you think in the comment section. Remember to subscribe to this channel, and I hope to see you in the next video. Adios.